Hey guys, what's up? This is Dingo Crikey here with another Transformers commentary video. This time I'm going to be doing a discussion topic on Transformers 5. If you guys are interested in more discussion and news on Transformers 5, then please check out my playlist and channel, where I also have commentary on the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction toy line, along with over 20 Transformers stop-motion videos. Anyways, the topic for this video is going to be the question of who are the creators mentioned by Lockdown and Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. I would like to let you guys know that this video may contain spoilers for a number of Transformers cartoons, including Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon, Cybertron, and the original Transformers series. This video will also contain spoilers for Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. So if you're concerned about that being spoiled for you, there's your warning. But anyways, the question of who are the creators, it seems like a lot of people in general have been asking this question after seeing the film, and I've had a few people in the comments of my other videos wanting me to give my thoughts on the matter. Thanks to those of you who recommended this topic, because it obviously is a major question. One that throughout Transformers 4 we didn't get many answers to, but due to the fact that in the end of Transformers Age of Extinction we do see Optimus Prime going into space looking for the creators, we can surmise that in Transformers 5 they're going to be a major plot point. At this point, though, all we can really do is speculate about the identities of the creators, being that there hasn't been much official news or plot details on Transformers 5 as of the current date. With that in mind, we can still speculate about it in two different areas. One on what was revealed to us in the Transformers 4 film, and the other by looking at the history of the Transformers franchise and making assumptions and predictions in regards to that. So what do we know about the creators from Transformers 4 Age of Extinction? As I said before, not much was really revealed about their identities during the film. We do know that they are apparently hostile towards other forms of life, or at least regard it not with a very high value. I mean, this is pretty much demonstrated by the fact that they apparently wiped out at least a whole valley of dinosaurs, and that they would send someone as ruthless as Lockdown to do their bidding. We also know that for some reason they want to collect the remaining Prime, and they also don't seem to be very friendly in the way that they go about it. I mean, they didn't just ask Optimus to come to them or something like that. No, they have Lockdown go and snatch him. And the last thing I could think of that gives us an idea about their identities is the weird alien hand we see in the beginning of the film. So this itself may not be one of the creators. I mean, it could just be one of their minions who they have doing their bidding, but if it is actually one of them, then we obviously have a creature that looks to be organic in nature and very weird and alien and all that kind of stuff. Basically, it doesn't look human, and it doesn't look Transformer-like. I mean, maybe it's biomechanical, we only seen the arm, but that's all we have to go off of as far as that goes. I mean, that's all I can really think of at the moment. Maybe I left out something that you guys noticed in the film, but you can leave that in the comment section. Anything else pertaining to the identity of the creators that was revealed in the film. So for further speculation, we can, use as a main source Transformers history, what's happened throughout the franchise in regards to the origins of the Transformers and who it is that actually creates them. Mainly, I'm going to be using the Transformers cartoons as my reference material. I've only read some of the Transformer comic books here and there, but I haven't read an entire series or anything like that, so I don't know how much they have that pertains to the origins of Transformers. They might explain it differently than some of the cartoons do. If you guys have more info on that, then you could leave it in the comment section. I'd be interested in hearing that as well. But for some of the newer fans who might be wondering why I can't just reference one of the cartoons as the source material for, what the creators are going to be like, it's because most of the Transformer cartoons occur in different timelines from the previous ones or the future ones. I did a previous video relating to this kind of stuff called Is Every Transformers Series Really Connected? You guys can check that out if you want to hear more on the topic. But basically, various shows give various renditions of the Transformers origins. But unfortunately, most shows don't even touch on the issue. It's never really even brought up. But as for the ones that do, I'll touch on the possibilities that we could get from those. So the first possibility that I'm going to make mention of comes from the Transformers Cybertron cartoon and maybe from some of the comics, but like I said, I don't know for sure, and that would be the character called Primus. Basically, Primus is a giant transformer, Unicron scale transformer, who transforms into planet Cybertron. At least he does in Transformers Cybertron. So basically, Primus is kind of like the opposite of Unicron. Unicron eats planets, and Primus is also a planet, but he's a good one. He's planet Cybertron. Usually he's portrayed as sort of benevolent, or as not really being that personable or having much of a personality of his own, just kind of a big non-sentient being, something kind of like that. Basically, if Unicron is the devil, Primus is God. And in fact, in some renditions, certain Transformers worship Primus as well. So basically, that's Primus in a nutshell. Now, do I think he's going to be the creator or somehow the creators used in the Transformers 5 film? In my personal opinion, I am very, very doubtful that they would actually use Primus for this role. And here are the reasons. Basically, the idea we've been given of the creators in the Transformers films has been that they're kind of a bad faction. They're not really going to be good guys. Primus is usually like a good guy, or like I said, impersonal. It just doesn't fit the bill for him to be sending out lockdown and, do all the things he does. Plus, he's huge. He wouldn't be like traveling in ships unless he's sending them off, but still, like I said, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, it's possible that he could want a prime, like Lockdown wanted to capture Optimus, but I don't really see any apparent reason that he would want him. But probably one of the biggest reasons would be that the fact that a good creator of the Transformers is just less exciting in the films. I don't necessarily have a problem with them doing that if that's what they're going to do, but the way these movies made is purely for excitement, and having this great benevolent creator of the Transformers, I just don't see them going in that direction. Having someone evil and sinister, something like that, would probably impress most people a lot more. So I'm highly doubtful it would be Primus. Going from there, moving on to the possibility of Unicron being the creator of the Transformers. So, from what I know of the Transformers franchise, Unicron usually isn't the creator of the Transformers, but in Transformers Armada, he definitely created the Minicons, which are basically a smaller faction of Transformers. A third faction like the Autobots and Decepticons, only they're more like human size and, transform into smaller vehicles, that kind of thing. Anyways, in Transformers Armada, the Minicons are actually Unicron cells, or born from them. Now, we're given some indication that maybe the Transformers were also created from Unicron and Transformers Armada, but it was always a cloudy issue. I don't think anything was ever revealed for sure. As far as just summing up Unicron in general, I think most of you guys probably know, but do I think Unicron will be the creator of the Transformers? I think there's more of a chance that they would pull that off than make Primus the creator of the Transformers, but I think it's highly unlikely. For one, it's questionable whether or not they'll use Unicron in the franchise altogether. I've heard things before like they don't like the idea of Unicron, or, it would be really hard to put him on screen, all that kind of stuff. But if they were going to use him, I'm guessing they would save him to the 6th film. If you use him in the 5th film, you're probably not going to keep him around to the 6th one. And if you use him in the 5th and then kill him off in that, they've kind of outdone themselves and they can't get any bigger than that. And these movies are all about getting bigger each film, so I don't think they'd use him in the 5th film, which is the film that we're probably going to be dealing with the creators in. Also, it wouldn't really make sense that Unicron would want to cyberform planet Earth as we see the creators doing in the beginning. And the same thing with Primus. He's a huge transformer, not these little skinny aliens and ships. Now, it is possible that they're spawns of Unicron, the heralds of Unicron, as we've seen in some of the Transformer Armada comic books. In Transformers Armada as well, the character Sideways actually played a big part and eventually was revealed to sort of be part of Unicron or one with Unicron, something like that. But I don't see them going in that direction. It doesn't really make sense that Unicron would be doing that, sending out all these ships. And Unicron eats planets. He doesn't try to transform them into Transformer technology. So I just don't think it's very likely that Unicron would be the creator. Maybe you guys would have some reasons to support the idea that he would be, but I just don't see that as happening. So that leads me to the next possibility for the group that could be the creators, and that would be the Quintessons from Transformers Generation 1. So basically, the Quintessons were a being that first appeared in the original Transformers 1986 film, and then they reappeared in Season 3 of the television show to have a lot more backstory, to be more prominent villainous characters, and were revealed by the end of a 5-part episode series to be the original creators of the Transformers. We are given the idea that they were the original inhabitants of Cybertron, and that somewhere in time they made robots who were eventually given the technology of transformation, and they pretty much used these robots as their slaves early on, just to build things, do their bidding, all that kind of stuff. But as time went on, they started to use them, for entertainment too, to start fights, that kind of thing. Eventually, the Transformers began to develop their own sentientness, and over time, they sought independence and overthrew the Quintessons and, got them off of planet Cybertron. And over time, the Autobots split into their own faction, the Decepticons theirs. But that's, in a nutshell, what the Quintessons had to do with the creation of the Transformers. There was also a Quintesson character who appeared in Transformers Energon, but it's not really necessary to mention them in this video because they had a totally different role. We found out throughout the series they really weren't as bad as they originally appeared, and while they were kind of similar in appearance, like with the whole spinning head gimmick, they weren't all that similar in character or role. So I'm just going to settle with the G1 version of the Quintessons. So my opinion about these guys possibly being the creators who Lockdown referred to in Transformers 4, I think there's a really, really good chance that these could be the creators. Outside of them coming up with some new concept for the creators, which is very probable, and even in that case, I think they might, base them off the Quintessons, at least loosely. But anyways, I think that this is the most probable thing they could go with from Transformers history. And here are my reasons for coming to that conclusion. For one thing, the Quintessons act a lot like the impression we get of the creators from Transformers 4. Unlike Unicron and Primus, the Quintessons actually travel in spaceships. I mean, that is seen in G1 clearly. Also, there are multiple Quintessons, not just one being. In fact, there's an entire race of creatures called the Quintessons, but the main ones that appear in the Transformers cartoon are just I think there might be 5 of them who have the 4 switching faces. Maybe that's wrong number on the count, but anyways, the Quintessons were also shown in Generation 1 to use bounty hunters, just as the creators used Lockdown in TF4. I don't remember the guy's name or if he even had a name, but there was one really prominent character, kind of this reptilian-looking, plump little creature. It was kind of a comical character who was a bounty hunter that the Quintessons sent out to, cause trouble with the Autobots. Also, there's the fact that, the Quintessons were the original source for the Transformers in the original cartoon. If the movies follow any of the Transformers timelines, they most closely follow the original one. I mean, even that, it's very loose. Movies do their own thing for the most part, but they don't really line up with Armada that well, or Animated or Prime. Well, in some areas, kind of like Prime, but probably they take the most inspiration from Generation 1. So that's another reason. Also, we get the impression the creators are evil characters. The Quintessons were primarily evil and selfish, yet, like Lockdown, are more civilized than the Decepticons, who pretty much act like a bunch of animals in the movie. Another thing is that the Quintessons would have a reason to want Optimus Prime. We see in the TF4 film that, for some unknown reason, the creators do want their hands on Optimus. In Generation 1, the Quintessons set out to do a similar thing, as they want to find and destroy Rodimus Prime. More specifically, they want to destroy the Transformers Matrix. I mean, this might not be exactly what they do in the movies, but it would be pretty similar to the Quintessons' goals in Generation 1. I mean, there are other things too. The G1 Quintessons used minions, sort of like Lockdown does, rather than just a bunch of Quintessons or a bunch of Transformers like their characters do. Then there's the hand in the beginning of the movie. I mean, that isn't like the tentacles the Quintessons had, but I mean, maybe they'll just redesign them or something like that. Or it could just be one of their minions. I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be one of the creators pulling the switch. It could just be one of their minions who they say, pull the switch, and, they do it or something like that. That pretty much sums up the reasons I think the Quintessons are the most probable choice if they're going to use some character from Transformers history. I mean, on more minor areas, they might want to use the Quintessons because they could be kind of a scary bad guy. A lot of their faces looked, I guess, kind of scary if you're a kid watching it, back in G1. But maybe what they could do instead of having the face spinning gimmick, kind of like they had in the original G1 cartoon, is that it has one face on each Quintesson, but it transforms into the different types of faces, kind of like we seen Lockdown doing in Age of Extinction. His face turning into the Turret. We could see the Quintessons just have, one face up, then it transform into the other one. If they were going to do the Quintessons, I could really see them going that route. Also, if they were going to use the Quintessons, they could call the movie Transformers 5. Faces of Darkness, and it would line up pretty well with the G1 series that was under the same title. I mean, I'm not for sure that they would want to use the name Faces of Darkness for a Transformers film, especially since we already had a movie called Dark of the Moon. But it still would be cool, and it's a cool idea at least. But those are my general thoughts on it. I'll probably do an updated version of this video once we have more news on the topic. As always, they could just pick out a new concept and ignore all these previous ideas in Transformers, but out of the ones that have been established in the cartoon series as I've watched, this is what I found. Primus, I don't think it's likely at all that he would be the creator or involved with them. Unicron, slightly more likely, but still, no. If anything, they're saving him for TF6. And the Quintessons, if they're going to use anyone from previous Transformer history, I think they're the most likely possibility. So that sums up my thoughts for this video. You guys can leave your opinions in the comments section. Do you think the Quintessons could be the creators? Or do you think some other idea is more probable? Maybe something that I completely forgot about? Or better yet, would you want to see the Quintessons as the creators? Would you actually want to see them introduced to the film series? Would you rather it be Primus, Unicron, some other idea? Anything like that, leave it in the comment section below. Sorry that this video and some of my other recent ones have dragged on a little bit long. I really tried to cut this one down in length as much as I could, but there was just so much I wanted to get in the video, and I know there was still some stuff I forgot, but I'll try to make them shorter in the future. For this one, there was just a lot I wanted to cover. Anyways, thanks for all the current topic suggestions I have. This was a topic that had been suggested to me by a number of people, so thanks for all you guys who did that. There are some other topics that I have right now. A lot of them pertain to TF5. I am planning to get to doing those, but, it just takes time to make, but I will get around to them. So please send in more topic suggestions, and I'll take a look at them. Also, if you have similar type videos or Transformer stop motion videos, something like that, you could send them to me. I'd be interested in seeing them. I might not always get to them right away, but I will try. And remember to check out my other Transformers commentary videos if you're interested. Like I said, I do general Transformers discussion topics, TF4, all that kind of stuff. And I have a number of Transformers stop motions on my channel. Feel free to check those out as well. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Transformers commentary. Have a good one, guys.